And welcome back once again to the Cocked Dice. We're here for another game of Perilous Tales. This week, Butch Sullivan and co will be taking on the gelatinous horrors of the Blob in this underground laboratory that's gone very, very wrong. Butch and co have received a call from their old colleague, Inspector Duchampe, who has radioed in for help, and they have rushed to his aid. The bad guys for tonight's game obviously are the Blob and various appendages, I suppose, for him. In addition to him, we also have the following events. We have arcing electricity, which is disaster strikes. We have fire, it's 1,000 cuts, and the unspeakable truth. It's utterly horrible. That's our 8 threats for the night. Our objectives for the night are going to be rescue the prisoner, who's the inspector in the centre there. We're also going to have escape, so our heroes must get from this side of the board to this side of the board and off, hopefully. And finally, we have activate contraption, which are these 3 engines here, because it's the only model I had where I had 3 of them, and I need 3 30mm bases thereabouts. They're going to act as some sort of self-destruct mechanism for the base. So Butch is in, he's got to blow up the base and escape out the back entrance as quick as possible. We're playing version 2.2 of the beta rules tonight. I don't believe there's been any updates in the last week or so from Mike. And with that, let's take a look at the forces. And here are our heroes for tonight's game. We, of course, have Butch Sullivan back again with Tough Guy and Crazed. We have Ginger with Medic. We've Captain Denton over here, who's bringing along Deadeye. We've Eliza on the side over here with Hair Trigger. And, of course, returning on this side over here is Umbatu with Brute. And going up against them are the villains for tonight's game. This week we are playing the Blob. The Blob. It's a pretty powerful, large beastie. He's on a 60-odd mm base here. A lot of wounds, quite a high skill, and a lot of skills. Accompanying him are these 2 here, which will be acting as the flabby pseudopods. Fairly basic minions, aggressive with a number of skills, but not particularly tough or skill 6. They're quite skilled. We'll see how they play. And then these 4 markers at the bottom are probing tentacles. These are fairly weak minions, but just with a 2-inch reach, they can kind of lash out and get people. This scenario has a number of interesting kind of interactions. Essentially, this is supposed to be the Blob and various parts of him. This guy essentially swallow models whole if they're knocked down. When you kill him, he becomes 2 of these guys, and when they die, they become 2 tentacles. So there's going to be take an awful lot of pounding to get rid of all of these. I'm expecting this to be a pretty tough night. Okay, and here we are for tonight's first turn. I think kicking off the night is going to be Umbatu. Now, whilst there isn't any actual rules for climbing up and down, I'm just going to say that climbing up and down, stuff like this, is going to take double your movement. So essentially, Umbatu is going to do a move followed by another move to climb the 4 inches down from the top to the bottom of that. And that's his activation. Ginger's going to hang back. I think Eliza is going to just come forwards to there. She wants to stay outside of 6 of these. She'll go on eyes peeled. I think the Captain Denton will also do the same. So he's covering that way. She's going to cover this way. Ginger is going to come and stand at the back there because she's the medic. And Butch, being Butch, he's going to move, then move again to there. And as he ends his movement within 6 inches of 2, which is that's 8 inches away. Good. So he's ended his movement. Just move this so you can actually see. There we go. So he's ended his movement within 6 inches of these two markers here. So we'll flip this one first. That is number 5. Number 5 tonight is a probing tentacle. So I'm just going to pop that down there for the moment. So it is a minion lurker, 3 wounds. It doesn't have any special rules for its placement, so actually it ambushes Butch up here. I'm going to trigger Captain Denton for that, who is going to take a shot. Now Denton has Deadeye, which gives him an extra dice, so he's 2 dice normally, 1 additional dice for Deadeye, 1 additional dice for shooting. He gets difficulty 1, which is okay. It's a shooting attack, so obviously that's moved up to 5. He scores a 5, an 8 and a 7. That is 3 damage straight away from Denton, and the probing tentacle only has 3 wounds. So it comes and it goes straight away. So we'll flip this other marker here. Ah, it suddenly goes less well. Dun dun dun, that's the blob. Number 1. Oh, that's early. So the blob is the master for tonight's game. So that immediately increases the threat level to 2. Because the master has been revealed. And I have noticed a slight problem with this game is he's not going to fit on there. So I'm going to pop him down there on the basis that he's a pretty tall model and can probably reach up and slap Butch anyway. He's got reach anyhow as a rule. For that, we've got Eliza over this side. She's obviously got hair trigger anyway, but she's got on eyes peeled, so she's going to get a 3 dice attack against the blob. She rolls a 6 for difficulty and scores a 2, a 5 and an 8, so that's only a single damage on the blob. And that's it for our hero's turn. Nice and quick. So we'll move on to the villainous turn. Now, because the master's come out, we're up to threat level 2 already. We'll do a threat check with advantage. We take the 7 away, which leaves a difficulty of 2, increased to 5 because of the party. And the villains get a 8 and a 9, so that's 2 successes. That becomes a noose is tightened. So we're going to move all the markers forward an inch. Are they within 10 inches of Butch? Yes, yes, yes. That moves towards the centre anyway. In fact, they're all within 10 inches of Butch, so Butch is going to get swarmed. Sorry for moving the camera there. One of the markers is right under the camera. Moves in an inch, and this back one moves in an inch. And then we increase the threat level up to 3. So that is the Noose Titans done. That's Threatening Overtures done. It's over to the villainous turn. The blob is going to slobber all over Butch. It's master, it's aggressive, it's got 15 wounds, and it is skill 7. It's pretty slow, which is about the only upside, so I think we're going to have to play a game of run the hell away from the blob in a minute, but he's going to attack. So he gets difficulty 3. Butch's skill is 4, so that's increased to 4. He gets a 4, a 4, a 7, a 7, a 6, and a pair of 10s. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage to Butch. Ow. Oh my gosh, ow. Butch, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, sorry, it's reduced by 1. Makes all the difference. 8 damage to Butch because of Tough Guy. So we are back for our hero's turn. Butch is pretty badly wounded, so this is going to be an interesting turn. So we're going to start with Butch. His first action for this turn is going to be a focus action to give him an advantage on his next roll. He's then going to attempt to escape from combat with the blob. So that's a 4 dice skill check with the advantage. It was really lucky he focused because he rolled a 10, so we'll throw the 10 away and we get a 6. That's increased to 7 because of the blob skill. And we score a 9 and a 10, 2 successes. So Butch successfully escapes from combat and he gets to make a walk action. Just going to pop these dice on his card instead. and do a walk action backwards, so he's right back here. Oh. He needs to call over Ginger, and I can't because they're in the way. I'm going to have to fudge this slightly. So his last action is going to, in fact, his last action is going to be a move action again. He's just going to move through all these people back to here. Ginger will go next. She is going to attempt a heal action on Butch. Skill test, +1 skill, heal 2 wounds per success. So, okay, so she has skill 2, +1 for the being a medic when taking the skill check, and 1 difficulty dice. She rolls a 3 for difficulty and just about gets 2 successes there. So that reduces Butch's damage down to just 4. So I'll put my dice back on there. So that's Butch and Ginger gone. We're next going to do Eliza. She is going to let rip. So it's a 3 dice attack on the blob down here. We're just going to try and pepper it. I've got 2 turns to kill it before it reaches me. So first shot gets a difficulty of 8 and scores a single success. That takes him up to 2 damage. She will shoot again. We're on difficulty 7. She scores no hits on her second shot. Captain Denton, he's going to fire through. Now, your own models don't block line of sight, I believe. He's got 2 shots as well. So the first one, oh, he gets a difficulty of 10 and fluffs it. Second one, he gets difficulty 3, which obviously increases to 5 and gets 4 hits from that. So that takes the up to 6 damage. Now, Umbatu's 6 inches away. Which means it's going to go for Umbatu, isn't it? So I think Umbatu's just going to stay still and shoot it before he charges it. He tries to combat it. 2, 3. So Umbatu's going to shoot at it. First shot. He gets difficulty 4. Obviously that's a 5 for shooting, so he scores no successes there. And second shot, he gets difficulty 9 and no successes again. That didn't go well. For those who might have noticed, I forgot to have Butch knocked down by the blob when he was in combat over here. So rather than replay the turn, I've just added a couple more points of damage to Butch. So he's now on 6 damage, not 4. I think that was a reasonably fair way of just handling that rather than replaying it all. So we are back with the villain's turn. We're at threat level 3, so we'll make a threat check first of all. We throw the highest dice away. We got 3 successes there. That takes us to Crawling Chaos. So some horror checks. Butch is obviously immune because of his crazed. Ginger gets a 2 difficulty and scores 2 successes. Denton, difficulty 5, scores 2 successes. Eliza, difficulty 9 and fluffs it, so she'll run away 4 inches, which is somewhere back here. And Umbatu gets a 4 and just about scrapes a 4. Okay, and then we do the Noose Titans. I'm always calling it the wrong thing. So nearest model within 10 is Umbatu, so that one's going to move an inch forward. That's going to move towards the centre. And finally, we do the Threatening Overtures, which increases the threat level to 4. Now we've got the villainous activations. We've just got the blob on here, so he is 6 inches from Umbatu and quite a lot more from Denton. Even if he was going this way, he's still just over 6. So I think it's going to slurp its way towards Umbatu over here. Now, because it's a big gelatinous blob, it only moves 3 inches a turn. So there we go, 3 inches moves it to there. So that's the end of the villain's turn. It's back to our heroes. We're going to have to take that guy out with some pace. So I think the first action for the heroes tonight is going to be Ginger. She's going to try and heal Butch again while he's in contact. She scores a difficulty of 8 and only a single success on that, so that heals 2 more damage to Butch. Butch's turn. He's going to attempt to pepper the blob as much as he can. So he gets a 5 dice attack. 1, 2, that's 6 dice, I can't count. 5 dice. Off he shoots. First shot. Oh, he gets difficulty 1. Which obviously increased to 5 because of shooting, but scores 4 successes there. That takes the blob straight up to 10 damage. He's going to shoot again. This time he gets difficulty 8, but he scores a 9 and a 10. That does another 3 damage to it, which takes it to 13. Denton's going to go next. He's going to make a 4 dice shooting attack against it because he has Deadeye. So 2 dice for his skill, 1 for Deadeye, 1 for shooting. He scores a 6 for his difficulty and no successes. Oh, he's going to waste his second action and do the same again. This time he scores a 3. That increases to 5 for the shooting attack, and then we get a 5 and a 7, so that's 3 more damage to the blob. So the blob is going to get removed. However, it is replaced, and I'm just going to pull the rules up for this. Gargantuan. When the blob is killed, replace it with a flabby pseudopod. So we'll put that there. Then place a second flabby pseudopod within 3 inches of the first and as close as possible to the model that killed the blob. How far away was he? That's about, if that's the centre of the blob, then he should be just back here, like that. Interesting. He obviously splatters as he explodes and throws bits of goo all over the place. We've done Ginger, we've done Denton, we've done Butch. I think Umbatu is going to go. He's going to go straight into this guy and melee him, mainly because Umbatu has Brute, which gives him 3 extra dice towards his melee attack. So he's rolling on 5 dice plus 1 skill dice. He gets a skill check of 3 and scores 9, 9, 4 and 5. That's 4 damage onto the flabby pseudopod, and that kills it. Before I do that, I'm just going to check this rule. Cut 1 down and 2 takes its place. So when this model is killed, replace it with a probing tentacle. Then place a second probing tentacle within 2 inches, 3 inches. So it is dead there, and we place another one within 3 inches, as close to that model as possible. I'm not sure that's any better for Umbatu. Eliza's going to try and pop some damage onto this one, I think, fairly quickly. So she has a 3 dice attack. First shot, she gets difficulty 6 and a single 8, so that plonks 1 damage on him. And she'll shoot it again before it comes slathering into Denton. Second shot, she gets a 7 and misses with all of her dice. That's everyone activated for our heroes. So we're on to the villainous turn. The threat level has dropped now to 2 because the master has been killed. And I shall take a threat check. We get a difficulty of 3 and only a single success for that one. That's just going to be the Noose Titans. Just going to check the distance. Yeah, they're going to move forwards, but they're not going to. Nothing's going to trigger yet because our heroes basically haven't moved very far. With that, it's then threatening overtures, and we increase the threat level to 3. And then we're going to activate all of our minions. So we're going to start on. Hang on, dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. It's the flabby pseudopod that's wounded up there. It is aggressive, so it's going to move towards the nearest enemy, which is going to be Denton. The nearest hero, which is Denton. It is skill 6. That's pretty good. It's flabbing around, apparently. It gets a difficulty of 8 and scores a pair of 9s as successes, so that puts 2 damage onto Denton. Not awful. And then we have these two down here. They are skill 3, but they will be rolling with advantage because Umbatu is outnumbered. So the first one will get a 1 for its difficulty, so he scores 3 hits on Umbatu, and it moves away 6 inches towards the nearest threat marker. And there we hang on, it's because it's a lurker. These are lurkers. And then we trigger the up to no good ability. So after activating a lurker, if this model is the first lurker to end its activation in contact with an unrevealed threat marker, increase the threat level by 1, which takes it up to 4. Then the second one over here will attack as well. Now he's not outnumbered anymore, so it gets a difficulty of 3 and scores a 7 and a 10, so that's another 3 damage. That's Umbatu up to 6 damage, and then this one moves over here. That's the end of the villainous phase. We're back with our heroes, and what a kerfuffle this is. So I think we're going to keep on with the healing bot first of all. So Ginger's going to go first. She's going to take a skill check and try and heal Butch. She gets difficulty 9, but she does score a 10, so it does heal 2 more damage off him, so he's down to just 2 damage taken. Check some lines of sight. That's 10 inches. That's good. That's a little more. So we need to kill this one here. I think Denton's going to go first. He's going to have to rough and tumble with this one. Unfortunately, he's only skill 2 for this attack. He gets difficulty of 2, scores a 2 and a 6. That adds 2 more damage to it. Takes up to 3 damage. And he'll attack a second time with his second action. He gets difficulty 4, but sneaks in a 6 and takes that up to 4 damage. That kills the flabby pseudopod. Oh, sorry for knocking the camera. And then we place on 2 more of these guys, which again isn't great. Might kill Denton, might not. We'll see. So I think we're going to activate Butch next. He's going to shoot at this. What is this one? Probing tentacle. Remember the bad guys' names. He's going to shoot at that. He's skill 4, plus 1 dice because he's shooting. Maybe 5 for difficulty. So we've got a difficulty 3, so yeah, that's increased to 5. We score a 5, a 4, and a 10. That is 4 damage to it. It is dead. That's his first action. I think his second action, he's going to make a move action. He's going to move to, obviously runs along the barrier at the end there, drops himself into contact with just this one on the side. And he's going to get a bit of a kick. So it's a skill 4 attack. He's already engaged with that one, so I don't think I get the extra bonus for outnumbered. Oh, that's just poor. Gets difficulty 6 and unfortunately scores no successes there. Clearly the running along, balancing on the beams and jumping across was just too much effort for Butch. Next up, we'll trigger Umbatu. Oh, we should have triggered that. I'm going to just... Yeah, it's just in range. So once Umbatu's gone, we'll trigger this because I should have triggered it last turn. I'm not sure how that one's closer. That's weird. I suppose Umbatu's closer. Yeah, this one should have triggered before. So Umbatu's going to take a shot at this this tentacle down here. He gets difficulty 9, scores 110, so he slips in 2 damage to it, but not enough to kill it. We'll flip this one because I should have done it before. So he's ended his activation next to 6. Oh, oh poor Umbatu. Poor Umbatu. 4. Number 6 is arcing electricity. That's disaster strikes. When revealed, the revealer suffers a skill 7 attack. So it's difficulty 4. It's a really poor roll, but he rolls 110, so that's 2 more damage, which does kill Umbatu. Takes him up to his 8 wounds. We are a man down already, and we need to take some horror checks for that. So Umbatu was down here. it's going to be everybody. Butch is immune to horror checks. Sullivan, no. Captain Denton rolls a 3 and passes. Ginger gets a 2, scores a 6 and a 4, so she passes. And Eliza at the back scores a 5 and passes as well. So that wasn't awful, but does mean I've lost that one, and I believe I remove that at the end of, yeah, remove it after revealing it. So there we go. Okay, final activation is going to be Eliza. Now, can she get to see that one there? She could, so she's going to make a move action right to the corner here, and she's going to pop a shot off at this one down there. We only need to do 1 more damage to it, so we'll do that now. She scores difficulty of 5, scores a 5 and a 6, so that kills the tentacle down there as well. So we'll pop that off the board. Clean up these lot. And there we have it. That is our hero's turn. So we're back to the threat check for the villain's turn. The current threat level is 4. So make the roll, we take the 4 away, and therefore it's a difficulty 1. Increased to 4 because of the number of people still on the table, which unfortunately means it is 4 successes for the threat check. That's Crawling Chaos once again. So we've got some horror checks to make. Butch is immune. Denton rolls a 7 and just gets a 7. Ginger, don't run away, don't run away. She got a 7 and just about scores an 8. And Eliza, she gets difficulty 2 and scores 2 easy successes there. So we're not horrified. Next up, it is Moose Titans. So all these move forward a little bit. Any of them moves within 6? Yes, this one down here has moved to within 6 of Butch, so that gets revealed. That is number 8. Number 8 is the unspeakable truth. When revealed, the revealer and every model within 6 inches of the threat marker must make a horror check with disadvantage, treating this threat marker as the closest villainous model. Discard this threat marker after revealing. Luckily for me, Butch is crazed, which means he ignores all horror checks. He is the only model within 6 inches of that marker, so we just throw it away. We're down to 4 threat markers on the table. Final thing we do, threatening overtures, and we increase the threat level to 5. Next up are the attacks from our villainous minions. It doesn't really matter which order they go in here. I'll start with this one over here, attacking Captain Denton. It's skill 3. It rolls difficulty 5 and scores 2 successes. So that's 2 more damage on Denton. This one over here is also fighting Butch, so it will be rolling at disadvantage. So take 3 away and it's 5. It scores 2 more successes. That takes Denton up to 6 damage. There we go. That is the end of the villainous turn. We return straight away with the hero's turn. First things first, Butch is going to start some kick-ass action. He's going to start by attacking this tentacle here, right in front of him. He clocks it 1. He gets difficulty of 8. He scores a 10 and a 9, which does 2 damage, 3 damage to it, and that kills that one. It's his first action. He's still within an inch of this one, so he's going to do the same again. He's going to give it a good old slap. This time he scores difficulty of 3. It is only skill 3. That's fine. He gets a 7, a 7, a 6, and a 6. That's 4 more damage. That kills that one. Superb. Now if he moves, he's going to trigger something. So for this turn, he's simply going to turn him round, and he's going to go on Eyes Peeled, because that will do me for the moment. Second action of the turn is going to be Ginger. She's going to attempt to heal Captain Denton. She gets a difficulty of 2 and scores 3 successes, which will heal him of all damage. So Eliza is going to, not that it particularly worked well last time, but she's going to jump down to the ground there. Denton's going to do the same on this side, like that. Actually, no, Denton's going to stay up there. He's going to move up to Butch. He's going to move just ahead of Butch, but without a side of 6 of this. There. And then he will go on Eyes Peeled as well. So Eyes Peeled, she gets a free Eyes Peeled, and Ginger is left at the back there. That is the end of our hero's turn. So my apologies there, I've had a slight camera disaster and you just missed a whole host of really exciting stuff. I'll summarise very quickly. We had a threat marker trigger over here, which dropped, it was over here, sorry, which dropped a flabby pseudopod up here. That was fine, it did a bit of damage to Denton, and then Denton and Butch fought off that one, killed it, killed another of the tentacles. Ginger moved up and failed a heal action, and at the end of this turn Eliza moved over here and has triggered this marker over here, which is number 7. Which is a fire. She luckily didn't take any damage from that. So we will continue with the villain's turn now. It is threat level 6 at the moment. It's getting dangerous. So it's a skill of 2. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. No, it's not skill 2. That's a lie. I've got 4 members left. I take that back. It is only 4 successes, not 5. That's Crawling Chaos once again. So some horror checks. We'll do Eliza first. She gets difficulty 5 and scores a 7. We'll do Denton. He gets a 4 and scores a 7. And Ginger at the back there gets difficulty 9 and runs away back towards the nearest board edge, which is right back there, unfortunately. It's going to make this turn a little more difficult. Okay, and then we do Crawling Chaos. So this one moves in 1 inch, this one moves in 1 inch, this one's going to trigger now. That's number 2. That is another flabby pseudopod, which will appear up here. And I'll remove that. I'm just going to check the distance on this other one as well. But no, I think I'm out. Just out over there. So that's fine. Okay. Then it's on to, oh, hang on. Nobody was on Eyes Peeled. She hasn't used her Eyes Peeled though. So she could shoot at that very quickly. So it's only a 3 dice shot, but it'll do. She gets difficulty of 7, scores 2 successes, so that does 2 damage to it on the way in. There we go, these dice are getting a bit messy up here. But I find it a little easier to track the damage on the board rather than on the cards, because then you guys can all see what's happening. So that is the Noose Titans, and then Threatening Overtures moves the threat level up to 7. Next up, we've got the enemy's attacks. So it's now threat level 7, so this is going to become aggressive, and that one is going to attack. So we'll start with the newly, freshly appearing flabby pseudopod. Skill 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Against Captain Denton. Luckily for Denton, it's clearly surprised by the amount of space it just splotted across. And it gets a difficulty of 10 and scores no successes to that. So the tentacles will come in and they will have to attack Butch, because it's the only person they can reach. They get a difficulty of 3 and do score 3 successes against him, reduced to 2 because of his tough guy. That is the end of the villainous turn. We're over to our heroes once again. I think Denton's going to have to go first. He's going to have to do a quick strike on this flabby pseudopod. That's unfortunately going to bring... Oh, does he escape from combat? And leave Butch to do the damage. because we're going to bring more tentacles in if I do that. And then he's going to he's going to have to do that because he needs to get out of combat to get healed. So he's going to attempt to escape from combat. He gets difficulty of 7 and fails with his first action. So he will do it a second time. He gets difficulty 1, which is increased to 6 because of the flabby pseudopod's skill. He luckily scores a single success. He's only engaged with the flabby pseudopod. So he's going to move 4 inches back to here next to Ginger. Ginger's going to try and attempt to heal. She gets a difficulty of 6, scores a single success, reducing him down to just 3 damage. Butch is going to kick this one here. He gets a difficulty of 3, skill 3, and he scores a bunch of successes which will kill a set of tentacles quite easily. That's his first action. His second action, he's unfortunately within an inch of this other one, so he's still engaged, so he'll have to give that a kick as well. He gets a difficulty of 5, that is increased to 6 for its skill level, but he scores a 6 and a 10, that does 3 more damage and kills that one, which will be replaced by 2 tentacles. 1 an inch away, 1 as close to him as possible, so therefore engaged with him. So for his third action, Butch is going to kick this tentacle that's in front of him. He's at disadvantage because he's engaged with 2 models. He gets a 10 and fails that one. Eliza is next. I need to start knocking some objectives off. So Eliza is going to just move away from this as quick as she can to get outside of 6. So she'll pop over here 1 action. That pops us straight into 6 of that one. So we'll trigger this last marker over here, which is number 4. That is another set of probing tentacles. And that's all of our threat markers gone for the night now. So that appears there. Obviously Eliza has a hair trigger. So she gets to squeeze off a quick shot. She gets difficulty of 2. It's obviously 5 for a shooting attack. So she scores a single damage point on that tentacle as it comes in. And with that, that is the end of our hero's phase. We're on to the villainous phase. It is threat level 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. So we score a difficulty 2. That's increased to 4 because of the number of heroes we have left. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. We're on Crawling Chaos again. So we'll run through the heroes' horror checks very quickly. So Eliza, first of all, fails it completely, so she is knocked down. That, but Butch is immune. Denton back here passes just about, and Ginger also fails, and she's at the back of the board, so she runs off. That's not good. She's my medic. Oh dear, Ginger now has a habit of running away from these games. This is somewhat inconvenient, unfortunately. So we then do Crawling Chaos. We've got no other markers to move, and then we do Threatening Overtures, which takes the threat level up to 8. Next we'll do some attacks. So Eliza's on the floor, so the flabby pseudopod is, the tentacle is going to attack there. It's on advantage, it removes the 9 for a difficulty of 3. It scores 4 damage on Eliza. First tentacle attacks Butch here. They're rolling with advantage as well. So it's a 4 and it gets 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. So that takes Butch up to 8 damage. 6, 7, 8. And then we'll attack again. The other one will attack it. Attack him, also with advantage. That leaves it at difficulty 3, so he scores 2. So Butch is up to 10 damage. That is the end of the villainous phase. We're back to our heroes, who have a heck of a slog to go for. Butch is going to start off. He's going to kick this first tentacle in the face, well, in the arm, I suppose. He kicks it. He gets a difficulty of 4. It's only skill 3. So he scores 3 successes and we take that one off. He's then going to give the other one a quick swift boot. He gets difficulty 4 again and scores 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So that is also removed. I've just spotted a problem here. Next action, he moves. Runs 4 inches down to here. In fact, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to order Denton to move 4 inches to here. I can't kill the last tentacle. If I kill the tentacle, the game ends. Because I'll have no villains on the table. So I'm going to have to do some actions quickly and just hope Eliza survives. So Denton will activate now. He's going to make a move action, then a second move action, and put him next to the prisoner so he can try and rescue him next turn. Eliza is going to stand up for 1 action. And then she's going to attempt to escape from combat. She's difficulty 4. She scores a 9, so she makes a walk action over there. Like that. Let's try and drag that tentacle away. That's the end of our hero's turn. We're on to the villainous turn. It is now threat level 8. Comes out with a massive difficulty of 1. Increased to 3 because I've got 3 heroes on the table, which means we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. Dun, dun, dun. The trap is sprung. Move 2 unreveal threat markers from furthest away from any hero 7 inches towards them, and then apply from the shadows. From the shadows, spawn a new minion within 1 inch of a heroic model with the fewest number of heroic models within 3 inches of it. So that's either going to be one of these two. So I'm going to randomise it. Get these dice out of the way. 1 to 5, it's Eliza. It's Eliza, so she gets a new minion. No, they're not. Okay, so on a 1 to 5, it's a pseudopod. On a 6+, it's a tentacle. So 1 to 5, it's a pseudopod. Triggers over there. It says spawn. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean it ambushes her. Then we apply crawling chaos. So Denton over here fails it. Oh, come on. He runs 4 inches back up the ladder. Butch is immune. Eliza also fails it. She's knocked down again. Okay. Then we apply Loose Titans. We can't do that because we've run out of things. And then we add 1 to the threat level, which takes us up to threat level of 9. I think this might be my worst game ever tonight. Next, it's the villainous character's turn. Now, the current target for this pseudopod was Eliza. So that one's going to move over there. We'll attack with the tentacle first. It's attacking with advantage. On down. It was here first, basically, so he's going to try and get this kill. So he gets difficulty 4. It scores 1 success there. Pops Eliza up to 5 damage. Next, the flabby pseudopod will attack. It's skill 6. It gets a difficulty of 5, scores 2 6s, a 9 and a 7 and 8. 5 more damage. Eliza has died as well. So next we will do a horror check for Denton up there. He passes just. Denton over there, sorry. I've pointed at Butch. Butch is immune to horror checks. That's the end of the villainous turn. We're back to our heroes. Butch's first action is to order Denton to run down the stairs. His second action is to run this way, 8 inches. Down to there. Like that. Denton's going to activate. He's going to do 2 interact actions. The first one, in fact, what I should do is actually run Butch to there. So I get the supported for the interact. With the prisoner, he's going to be at advantage. So we get a difficulty of 8 and a 9 and we fail. Second action, we get a difficulty 5. We score a 10. So we've done a single single interact, freeing the prisoner. It's back to the villain's turn. It is threat level 9. And we get a difficulty of 3. We've only got 2 heroes left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So trap is sprung, doesn't do anything. From the shadows we should spawn another minion. That will spawn over near one of these 2. We apply Crawling Chaos. It's only Denton that can take the check, really. He passes it. The Noose Titans doesn't apply. And then we finally do Threatening Overture, which takes the threat level up to there. I'm just going to randomise which hero this guy goes to. So 1, 2, 3, 1 to 5, it's Butch. It's Butch, he's round here. And then we'll do the villainous minions. So we'll go on to villainous activations. We rolled a 1, so this only moves 3 inches to there. This tentacle here is just inside of 6 of Butch, so it will move into contact with Butch over there. Butch he is engaged, so the tentacle is rolling at advantage. It gets a difficulty of 2, that increases to 4 because of Butch's skill, so it gets a single success, bumping Butch up to 1 more damage. And then finally, the flabby pseudopod will attack, and I think this is game over for Butch with advantage. It gets a 3, increased to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage on Butch. Butch is dead. That's all the villainous characters gone. It's threat level 10. That is the end of the game. The victory points for tonight's game are as follows. The leader isn't alive, so that's none. I lost quite a few teammates. The whole party isn't dead, so we've scored 0 victory points so far because Denton is still on the table. We failed to complete Activate the Contraption because the 3 switches are down here and we got involved in a massive bum fight back here, so that's no victory points. We failed to rescue the prisoner with only a single interact action and we ran out of time. We are still on 0 victory points. And finally, the escape condition. We have no characters having escaped from the far table edge, so we end this game on 0 victory points. That is a complete and utter failure. Let us never speak of this again. As always, thank you very much for joining us here on the Cocked Dice. Hope you enjoyed tonight's game. Please like this video, comment below. It really helps us boost the viewers of this video and get some more interactions. Thank you, and I will see you again next week for another perilous adventure.